Hi Aries, welcome in to your mid-February 2023 Money and Career Tarot reading. I do want to thank you so much for joining me for this reading, but as always, as we proceed with the reading, do keep in mind this is general for the remainder of your month, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But I also do more than appreciate the likes, comments, and of course subscriptions to the channel if you haven't joined this Aries tribe already. But let's jump right into it and keep it simple and pull from the Gilded Tarot Royale deck. Let's do some shuffling. Ooh, love it. The Queen of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. I feel as if the second half of the month, male or female, does highlight the fact that you're feeling quite in touch with your feminine side. And I feel like the wheel is turning in your favor, and that feels quite evident to oneself. And for a lot drawn to the reading to other people, all the meanwhile, whether it's those you're working with, those who are observing your work. I feel like some are putting themselves out there on social media, and that's working to your advantage. But I do feel like all the meanwhile, it just feels like there's progress taking place. You're making it work. Some of which, drawn to the reading, are making the best until the best, right? It feels like that wholeheartedly. Whether it's at work, at home, both where you're running your business potentially. It feels like you are just doing what you have to do when you need to, and just keeping in mind things will either improve or you'll find a replacement down the line when the divine timing comes to be. What else do we have? Yeah, the Emperor. Absolutely beautiful. I do feel as if you are shining in your glory, is what they're saying. You're easily accomplishing in a very, at times, overly serious kind of grounded manner, but it feels like you're being reminded, and this came up in Leo's reading as well, from another circle in the Sun card, that completion does lead to happiness, whether this is more so you thinking about future completion, right? Or it could be even the completion of a project or just a set of work that you're checking off your to-do list and even, I want to say, submitting. And it just feels gratifying. It feels relieving, right? A weight off your shoulders. But I do feel like for some, you're also, or just thinking about completion from the past. Don't be surprised when past work opportunities, financial investments, and even future ones, and what you have at hand comes to mind when you're working or when you're just cleaning up around the house. In spirit saying, so be it, that may be inevitable, but don't overdo it with that contemplating, thinking, remembering all the meanwhile. Allow for oneself to keep it simple and recognize again that things will switch up if they're meant to moving forward, or improve in the ways that they're meant to, all right, or was one significant way. But I feel like there is one, if not multiple, but it feels for a lot, just one particular annoying person at work and or at home, right? And it feels like you just need to cope to the best of your ability. If you can steer clear of that person, some of you thinking about a new job or a new promotion or pay raise, something of the sort. It could be more so a new financial investment for oneself, but I do feel like it's a very spiritually connected, they're saying life altering ending, remainder of February. But I feel like there's part of you that's just not going about accomplishing, doing what you have to do in a heavy, difficult manner. It's this feeling that you're, they're saying, drifting towards what you need to accomplish and just moving towards, through it, checking it off your to-do list or just acquiring what you need to with a sense of ease and spirit saying, we're helping you with that. But I do feel like all the meanwhile, you're learning from your past efforts, mistakes, right? From times when you may have made things more difficult or just overcomplicated an approach or process, the acquiring of something. But do you see what I'm saying? I feel like you're doing things quite almost, I want to label it effortlessly. And Spirit saying as well, your knowledge, experience, wisdom is very evident to other people potentially once again, but to you, and that is helping you do things quite easily. But the Tower card, we're not going to take it, even though this does shine bright for a lot, whether it's more so past, but could be both past and future. But you don't get three major arcanas to begin a reading if it doesn't feel like a turn in the right direction or just a life-altering second half or remainder of February. But I feel like there's points in the second half of the month where you're bonding with people, whether it's at work, at home, I feel like for the majority, it's in a work situation. I mean, you could work from home, so therefore it's in the housing situation, but this is benefiting you, right? And it may even open your eyes to who you can trust or who you should be associating oneself and who you shouldn't be at work, right? For the benefit of your well being, your work day, the quality of your work. But I just feel like all the meanwhile, there could be a meaning of importance for some areas drawn to this reading. This gaining you an opportunity, whether it's that promotion, that pay raise, it could be a new job, it could be a business expansion. I'm hearing collaboration for some, but however this works for you, I do feel like there's a happy outcome, all right? A happy outcome for you individually, even if in the midst of the beginning stages of whatever this is for you, or in this meeting of importance, you feel like a bit of a fish out of water, a sense of vulnerability, or just not fully having all the answers just yet. Spirit's saying there's a beauty about how you can just innately wing it, right? Or just bring that confidence to the table and just impress through it all the meanwhile. There's a sense of the stars aligning for you throughout the remainder of February. And I want to say the month as a whole, because I remember your monthly reading was quite positive. And there we go. The 10 of Pentacles. So the remainder of the month highlights the fact that you're meant to have financial success on the horizon for you. And again, that could be tied into what you're gaining, what you're continuing, what's thriving, succeeding. If you work online, even if it's not all of what your work, your career entails, there's a sense of growth, numbers going up, but I feel like numbers could be increasing. And I want to say financial numbers increasing for you, savings increase throughout the remainder of the month. There's a feeling that you are, again, quite in touch with your feminine side. And this doesn't mean you're super emotionally wrapped up with or adding that heaviness to what you are moving towards or continuing. But it just feels like through it all, money is taking a focus, but work is taking even more of a focus. But that's bringing you that financial stability moving forward. But there's a feeling that in a situation you are expecting the worst, I need to just check oneself and bring it back to or in general to a state of optimism, positivity, and notice that the imperfections remind you why a change is necessary moving forward, if not multiple, all right? But let's pull one more for the other side. The 9 of Cups, beautiful. Spirit's saying we have your back, all right? And there's a sense of you needing to cheers to oneself for being so hardworking, for putting up with some BS at times, for having a lot on your plate, for a lot drawn to the reading. But I feel like there is somebody you shouldn't be trusting, a rat in your midst at work or at home, and you need to be aware of this. And again, connecting with them or witnessing another level of connecting outside of you may bring this to light, but it's not the main focus of the second half of the month for you. The fact that you're succeeding, the fact that you are impressing, the fact that you are producing and developing in, again, a very simplistic manner, but it feels like you could be quite busy through it all. But Spirit's saying this doesn't have to feel stressful, right? It does not have to feel stressful. But I feel like there are certain reminders or just moments where you notice how guarded you truly are due to past disappointments, frustrations, difficulties with past living situations, or it could be more so at home. For some, it's both. But I do feel like you also just need to remember through it all that the difficulties, the annoyances, the frustrations that you've dealt with up until this point, and potentially could still be dealing with in certain ways, or in one big way, has prepared you to deal with small obstacles or just the delays and frustrations that do exist along your path moving forward. Because to keep it realistic, things aren't going to be perfect, right? But there's a sense of things improving from the point where you're watching this reading till the end of the month, and that giving you a sense of a bit of hope, right, in regards to how things are meant to move forward. And Spirit saying this is well deserved, right? You're one hardworking soul, but when the opportunity arises, put your guard down, because however that comes to be for you, where there's a sense of you moving forth towards what you deserve, accomplishing a ton in the second half of the month, and just being prepared to soar towards more, however that looks to you, even if you fully don't know what that is or how that looks for you just yet. It's okay to not have it all figured out, but it's a very successful, again, second half of the month for you, where you're being reminded you have a very financially comfortable future, even if there are slip-ups, you don't speak perfectly 24/7, even if you do feel as if there is a blockage or two in your way, but Spirit's saying they will be released or removed when the time is right. It feels like you need to be so proud of yourself in the second half of the month as you come to certain conclusions, or one in particular, you get things done and you again do things with a sense of ease and it make that money all the meanwhile. All right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the remainder of your month, and I'll see you next time.